Everyone, this is Nikachu and I'm here with Devin Wise and my brother as we are here to play in Star City Games Minneapolis. It's gonna be my first SCG event. Devin's been in millions of SCG events. He even made the finals in one.
Well, I've been in like 4.
Well,
not quite a million.
But you know what? Making the finals in 1/4 of them, that's a pretty good, I don't know, conversion rate. Yeah, whatever you want to call that. And right now we are looking for, what are we looking for? Food?
Food, yeah.
We're looking for food. So to first find the food, Devin needs to find his point of reference. He knows where the food is, but he has to find out
where the convention center is.
Where's the convention center? So when we get to the convention center, we can find the food. I had a tasty burger. Devin also had a tasty burger. So now what's the plan? We have to get some snacks or something?
Yep, we're gonna get some snacks so we don't starve at the tournament tomorrow.
Well, I love the convention center food. I eat all their garbage. I'm fine with that. But maybe there'll be something appealing. We're going to Target. Where's Target? There's Target, right there. So what's your haul, Devin?
So, breakfast of champions.
Oh yeah.
These no-name fruit flavored.
Tropical, fruity, edibles.
I've got some.
Oh yeah.
Some type of crunch. Some type of granola crunch.
You gotta love it.
And then I've got some potassium.
And bananas. Yeah.
So this is just some light stuff to keep me going tomorrow during the tournament, hopefully.
So my brother has been looking for inflatable mattress. Or have you been looking for the girl on there?
No.
Maybe a little both.
Oh, you know you're in America. You got America underwear.
It'd be worth giving you $100
so
you could get a room with only 2 beds.
Well, Devin and I play Magic. My brother is working on sleeping on the floor here with inflatable mattress.
$3. Target.
The pump.
$8. Sounds all bad.
The fish is telling us where to go to get to the convention center, so it's a good omen. So we're staying at the Millennium Hotel, and my brother not a fan of the Millennium Hotel.
Trash.
But why is that? It's the cheapest hotel in the area. What do you expect?
They should be brewing a big pot of coffee in the lobby at like 5, like most places do.
Oh.
For free. The coffee they do give you in the room is garbage. It's all dark roast. And it's those Keurig pods. Yeah, it's just, I don't like it.
He doesn't like it. Weird door, the sliding door for the bathroom.
No continental breakfast.
We're gonna have to do a rundown of that thing when we get back to the hotel room. Pros and cons of hotel room Millennium. I mean, the bed sheets are nice. I have no complaints. Pre-breakfast is good, but you know what? There's never a free breakfast at any hotel. Well, we found some geeks and nerds. These gotta be Magic players' backpacks. See, no one down there. You wanna go down there? We wanna follow the
You do know there's issues.
Okay, so we've discovered something on the wraps. We've got no fat, no cholesterol, no sodium, just zeros all around the board. Values based on a 2,000 calorie diet. So I'm trying to stay awake here with my coffee. Round 1 against Mono Green Tron. Not too hard of a matchup. Excellent interaction, no problem. But then I got the feature match, very exciting, in round 2 against Matthew Hoey. I tried to prove what was the better tribal and vile deck, but unfortunately it was not to be. I lost very cleanly 2 games. And what's going on over here?
Hey, Devin again. So I was playing round 1, what did I play against? Abzan Company.
Yep.
So I'm playing Black Green Rock. So I ended up keeping I mulled a 6, kept a 5 land with a Brutality hand. Didn't really want to go to 5. But I was able to kill their mana bird, discard a land, take their Collect Company, kind of draw out of it. So I took round 1 against Abzan Company, and then round 2 I played against Storm, which is probably my deck's best matchup. I just have infinite discard, Collect Brutalities, Tarmogoyf Waves to pressure. So right now I'm sitting at 2-0, so I'm hoping to keep that train going.
Right. Excellent. Good job. So round 3, I steamrolled. We're talking steamrolled Blue Moon. They didn't know what hit them. I had Spell Pierces for days, countering all their spells, countering Cryptic Command when they had a mana up, countering not Jason Mind Sculptor, just all these removal spells. They had no way to get back. Their life total slowly dwindled to nothing. But in round 4, I got rolled by Mardu Pyromancer. Game 1, they had Young Pyromancer. I had the Dismember to kill it, but they followed it up with another Young Pyromancer, and we got into a long, grindy game. They had 1 million tokens on the board. I had a Master Waves with 1 million tokens, and then an opportunity to try to win the game on the spot with Lord of Atlantis. I went for it, but they had Bolt. Like, I had Island Walk, but they had Bolt for the Lord of Atlantis, and then I couldn't come back from there, and I lost. And in game 2, they had Young Pyromancer again, and I could not do anything about it. I tried to Echoing Truth the tokens, but they played around it very smartly. They had Lightning Bolt, killed the token I targeted with Echoing Truth, and all the tokens lived, and I did not.
Just walk up, kneel down right in front of the table.
They're all eating. This is what it looks like when those commercials are going. So in last round, I got steamrolled by Death and Taxes. I can't remember how game 1 went, but they had a lot of Flicker Wisps. I was like vial into vial, and when the vial got high enough, they're like, okay, Flicker Wisp this vial. Then when the other vial got high enough, okay, Flicker Wisp this vial. And then they had 6 power in the air. That was very difficult to stop. And in game 2, they had 3 Ether Vials and literally everything. 3 Ether Vials, and they set them on 3, 3, and 4. And it was just Blade Splicers, Flicker Wisps, and Restoration Angels. There was no opportunity to attack into any of this stuff. It would have just gotten hardcore destroyed by first strike creatures. I had a lot of lords on the battlefield. They played some white card, like destroy target creature with toughness 4 or greater for 2 mana. I didn't see it coming, but I guess it didn't matter. It was very similar to Path to Exile anyway. But no, I could not get through any damage. And now I am XN3. Well, on my way back to the hotel room, I believe I got wiped out by Lantern Control somewhere along the lines in round 6? So, no, 7. Wiped out by Lantern. Dude, I made it a game. I got game 2, so we left them with some scars, but then in game 3, game 3 I had a great hand. I had like 2 Lords, and 2 Spell Pierce and a Deprive, but they had Inquisition, Thoughtseize. Oh, they stripped me of all my counter spells. And then they played the bridge, and then Whirler for Invention for Lantern and Codex Shredder, and it was over. But I got my revenge against artifacts because I defeated Krark Clan Ironworks.
Okay.
I was able to control everything with Relic of Progenesis, multiple ones. So every artifact that went to the graveyard, boom, gone. Scrap Trawler ain't gonna take advantage of that crap.
Yeah.
And I countered the Krark thing. But do you know what? This thing was playing with some variation. It was playing with Aetherworks Reservoir?
Okay. The thing that you can tap to ping things?
No. Or maybe I have the wrong...
Is that the one that you
gain life. Yeah, gain life, pay 50 life, kill you. Because this deck constantly casts things. And I lost to that in game 2. And in game 3, fizzled.
Well, at least you have a story.
Yeah, there it is. There's the story. I prefer more wins over the story. Last round I was up against Burn. And in a nail biter, I won. Probably I don't deserve this victory, but I won anyway. So finished off 5-4. Not particularly pleasant, but the good news is I get to play in another tournament tomorrow called the Classic. So we get another chance with Merfolk. Overall, the matches I lost were like unwinnable. My opponents, I would say 3 out of the 4 losses, there is no damn way I could do anything else. They were so aggressive and strong, insanely good hands. I would have to analyze the humans deck that was on feature match to see where I could do anything differently, because there's probably a lot of differences. The matches that I won, Spell Pierce destroyed them all. It was all Spell Pierce. Curse Catcher, I don't miss you. You wouldn't have helped me anywhere. Go Spell Pierce. Sure. So what happened to you today?
So my story started out good. I started out 3-0. And then I was hoping to dodge. Again, I was playing black-green, the rock. So I was hoping to dodge the
if
big...
no one knew, I don't know how much people knew. We got a little flash of it in the hotel room earlier.
Yeah. But I was hoping to dodge the big mana decks. Those are kind of my weaker matchups. Round 4, face Amulet Titan, I lose. Round 5, face Scape Shift, I lose. And then
You talking all day. I don't want to play against Scape Shift. I don't want to play against Amulet.
And they're like 2% of the meta, and I faced both of them, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I win the next round. I can't even remember what I played the next round, but I beat it. And then I played a mirror, not a pseudo mirror. I played against Jund, like traditional Jund. Came down to him drawing a Terminate when I had a Liliana in play, upticking the same turn that I had drew my Kalitas. So he was able to snag my Kalitas.
Yeah.
And then, of course, he drew a Bloodbraid Elf, because when doesn't the Jund player draw their Bloodbraid Elf?
That's what Jund does.
Exactly.
That's what Jund does.
So I lost that one, and then I won out from there. So I ended the day at 6-3.
Beautiful.
So I don't think I'm day 2ing with that record, but I'm just waiting to see. Maybe I'll be tied for 64th.
It's possible. Yeah, we're waiting for standings.
Yeah, waiting to find out.
We burgers. These are amazingly large burgers. I had them 13 years ago, and I hope they're exactly the same as they were, as I remember them. Okay, look. 13 years ago, those wee burgers used to be really big. They were huge.
They've shrunk.
Believe me. Oh, they shrunk to magnitudes. Now, we're talking 13 years ago, so maybe they've had to cut corners like they've never had to cut corners before. But I remember they were like small Big Macs. I came here in 2005 for a giant chess tournament. Did great in that chess tournament. Celebrated with those wee burgers. Unforgettable wee burgers. That's why I remember the wee burgers from the Irish pub. That was not, I would not have remembered these dinky little burgers.
This is why, if you have a good memory from like 10, 20 years ago, you never want to try to relive that memory. It's just going to destroy your memory.
Just to destroy, yeah. Now the wee burgers, the legend of the wee burgers are tarnished. What does my brother think of the wee burgers? 2 out of 5, he says. So currently we are leaving our room because my brother clogged the toilet, and instead of maintenance giving us a plunger, no one is working, or no one knows where the plunger is, so they just gave us a full. Okay, so game 1, you Inquisition her. How did you feel?
So
you saw Tron.
So I saw Tron. So I felt not good, but out of the big mana decks, Tron is probably my best matchup out of the big mana decks.
Sure.
Compared to the ones I played yesterday.
You don't want to see Amulet. You don't want to see Titan Shift.
Exactly. So Tron
is manageable.
Yeah, at least my Field of Ruins do something in the matchup. But Inquisition, I see a map, a sphere, Sylvan Scrying and Ancient Stirrings, but only one land.
Right.
So one mine. So I end up Inquisitioning, taking. I'm trying to remember what I took. I took one of the pieces, her most efficient piece, to get another land.
Sure.
And then the following turn, I had Swamp into Double Thoughtseize. I took her other 2 pieces, so she basically couldn't fetch up Tron.
Yeah.
And then I had the follow-up Tarmogoyf, and basically just rolled the Goyf to victory in that game. Game 2, I was on the draw. Can't even remember what happened. I think I just got...
You didn't win.
I didn't win it.
You got Tron.
I got Tron.
You got Tron.
And then game...
Are you sweating bullets now?
Yeah, going to game 3. I'm trying to remember how exactly game 3 played out. But I end up Inquisitioning turn 1. I think Goyf turn 2. And then turn 3, I Field of Ruin her off of her Tron.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Like her second Tron piece, take it off. And then I get a Swamp Thoughtseize.
She had a Pithing Needle that she named Liliana the Veil.
She ended up naming Liliana the Veil.
LOTV.
Which I was, happy about. It's a fine name, I guess, but...
Is it still in your deck?
I still keep it in.
Okay.
I boarded out 10 cards. But
Liliana the Veil still live on Pithing Needle.
Yeah, it's still live, but you'd ideally name Field of Ruin, because you know those are in my deck, and potentially Fulminator.
Right.
Because there's a probability that I have Fulminator. Those are the 2 cards that can beat you.
Sure.
But anyways, so they name Liliana the Veil, and then I untap, go Field of Ruin, blow up your tower, get a Swamp, Thoughtseize them, took a Planeswalker to grow my Goyf, and it was really close at the end. She had a couple redraws to draw to play her Ugin to wrath my board.
So it's always scary playing against Tron. They've got one card bombs.
Yeah.
Shut you off and put them in position to win.
Yeah. So I was playing around Thragtusk by playing out. I played out a third threat because I didn't want them to play a Thragtusk and just not have enough pressure in play. But had she had drawn the last Tron piece, she had an Ugin in her hand, so that would have basically locked up the game for her.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
Luckily, they didn't draw.
Well, what's your score?
Right now I'm 3-1.
So yeah, 4 rounds, 3-1. You're healthy. You have to win out, but you're in healthy shape. All right. So I'm a clean 4-0 so far. Round 1, I played against Homebrew, some sort of mountains artifact deck. It's like affinity cards, but with mountains. And it was a very charming game against a very charming opponent. At one point in the game, they tried to lightning bolt my Lord of Atlantis with a mountain. They very confidently stuck that mountain at my Lord of Atlantis, but I had to remind them that was a mountain. But they still bolted it. They had it in their hand. But I won that match. Round 2, I played against Naya Zoo. It's the Revolt Zoo. You know, I'm pretty sure they had Bushwhacker in the deck, but I did not see Bushwhacker, so the hands were sort of slow. I was able to catch up. Trickster 8, a Wild Nikachu. Trickster did a lot of work. Harbinger helped bounce some things. I was at a low life total sometimes. The Tarkus command will almost get there, but I was able to win that thing. Round 3, I was up against Affinity, and in both games, he was stuck on mana, or my opponent didn't have enough. I had a really lucky game 1 because Pierce was able to connect with a Cranial Plating, and with only about 2 mana, they couldn't do very much. Their hand was very clunky, and I was able to tick Vial up to 4, play Master of Waves, and then the following turn play another Master of Waves, have 1,000,000 tokens, and just win with that. And in game 2, we had a super long game where they had 2 mana, I had 3 mana, but I could only play 1 thing a turn. He could only play 1 thing a turn, but eventually, like 3 Merfolk Tricksters and 2 Silvergill Adepts went in wide for the win. And then in round 4, I beat a Titan Shift deck. Round 1, game 1, they mulliganed. They didn't actually do anything in game 1. They just played some lands and died to Lords. And in game 2, they were just short. They scape-shifted at 7 lands when I had lethal on the board, but they could only deal 18 points of damage when I was at a fresh 20 life. And that was that. I won a nail biter against Infect. Now that was a nail biter. So I won game 1 pretty comfortably. They sort of flooded out. They didn't have enough interaction on Master of Waves. Like, they used their pump spells to defend their creatures, but still, like, I bounced them or trickstered them, I'm not sure. In the end, they didn't have enough Infect to get through. Master Waves was played, there was 1,000,000,000 tokens, and that finished them off in 1 big shot. But in game 2, we had a super tight game. We were both constricted on mana, and there was a point where I got my opponent to tap out when it looked like they were only going to get 1 Infector through, and my opponent had 3 cards in hand, and I had surely lethal on the board, but then they just dumped their hand of 3 Munogenic Growths, and I was like, looked at my hand, looked at the life pad, yeah, we are going to game 3. And game 3 was also really super tight because there was a Blighted Agent and it kept getting in for damage with Noble Hierarch and Pendelhaven, and then I decided instead of trying to interact with the Blighted Agent first, I'm going to tap down the Noble Hierarch with my Tidebinder Mage to restrict their mana, make it easier, make my spell pierces more live. And then there came a turn where he played a second Blighted Agent. I had Deprive in my hand. I didn't counter the Blighted Agent. I'm like, oh my god, what have I done? But you know what? I had just enough interaction with Harbinger of the Tides, Merfolk Trickster, to keep my opponent from killing me with these things. And then there was a point where I untapped. There was a Glistener Elf and a Blighted Agent on the board. I knew the 1 card in their hand was a Blighted Agent. Drew dismembered the Glistener Elf, attacked with my team at their upkeep Trickster, the last Infector, and they were dead on board. So 5-0 in great shape so far in the Modern Classic. What happened over here, Devin?
Hey. So
Devin's back.
So I ended up getting paired against one of Nikachu's fans. If you're watching this, hey, you know who you are. So I assumed he was on Merfolk, and apparently my deck has a really great Merfolk matchup because we play tested it, and in play testing it. In play testing I got wrecked, and it turns out you need like
I need to be on the draw. Actually, that's very interesting. I don't know if there's a single matchup where I want to be on the draw, but this black-green rock matchup, absolutely. That's the only matchups where I had any chance of winning, and were the only games that I won.
Yeah, it just comes down to resources. So anyways, I figured he was on Merfolk because he was just talking to you yesterday.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh great, like, this is a great matchup for me. And then he goes turn one. Turn one, he's Affinity. So luckily though, my range of keeps against Merfolk is similar to my range of keeps against against
creatures. You want to kill those creatures.
Just gotta kill the board. So it was 3 really close games. I win game 1. Game 2, it was a really close game. I had a Cletus out and I missed the zombie trigger.
Sure.
The turn before his Antiquities of War was going off.
Oh boy, well, how is that? I can't believe that was playable. Unbelievable.
It's pretty strong. I mean, it drew him 2 cards.
It works.
And it killed me.
I've seen it. Yeah.
But I actually had to go Golgari Charm the turn before it went off. But he had 2 Thopters in play with 2 cranial platings, so I was kind of forced to blow up his Thopters, just not to die to the cranial platings. But the turn before I lost, I forced him to trump with the Ravager, and I missed a trigger on the Cletus, which would have given me a zombie, which would have let me block. He had 5 other artifacts, so he was tagging for 25, and I was at 15 or something.
Right.
So I could have like double blocked game 3 or something along those lines, and just barely survived. So I went to game 3, and it was a really close game. He ended up getting a 6/6 Edge champion out with another Edge champion. And he was kind of hitting me for 6, but I had like a Scavenging Ooze who was a 6/6 as well, so we were just like, racing basically.
Sure.
And eventually I got a Cletus out, and I killed enough of his like Ornithopter type creatures to push through enough zombies. And I didn't forget the zombies in game 3.
Excellent.
After the blunder. So I'm sitting at, what are we now? I'm 4-1, I think?
Yeah, you're 4-1. X1, still alive for top 8. I'm still alive for top 8, so yeah. So that's the situation. And the sandwich has arrived. It's going to be a disappointing finish for this vlog. Round 6, I'm up against Stormmaster Caleb Shearer. I win game 1. I just have an answer for everything. Dismember for the Baral. I have Spell Pierce for his sleight of hand. He just completely ran out of cards. Didn't let him have anything. I put a bunch of Lords and a Master Waves on the table. He just conceded. But I couldn't win either of the post-board games. They were close. I was a little restricted on mana. I needed like just 1 more land so I could play a few more things a turn. But I didn't have it, and he squeezed by a victory. And then in game 3, I had some interaction, but I had these Echoing Truths that didn't actually do anything, and I believe I made a mistake he had a Pyromancer Ascension that got online. Should not have let that happen. I had an opportunity to crack Relic, empty the graveyard before I passed the turn back to him, but I didn't, and it ended up just costing me badly. So I lost that match. Then I was up against Burn, which I was very excited about. I spreading seized them on the play and just crushed them game 1. But games 2 and 3 were really hard because he brought in Bridge and he was able to resolve both of them in both games. This person had actually a lot of hate for Merfolk. Searing Bloods, Ensnaring Bridge, Grim Lavamancer, Searing Blazes, he had everything. He said I was the 3rd Merfolk player that he beat. And then last round I was up against Jeskai Control, and as far as I'm concerned, I have no chance against that matchup. So I need to hope that they don't have Supreme Verdict, and I have some opportunity to extend on the board because they're only running 2 Supreme Verdicts now. So there's some room to extend empty my hand on the board. But anyway, my opponent had Supreme Verdict all over the place, so I ended up only X and 3, 5-3. I think I make top 32, but we're gonna see. I'm pretty sure I will, but it wasn't the finish that I was hoping for. So I did make top 32, so I'm waiting in line for prizes with all these other people, and this line is just not moving at all. Nothing. But we're waiting.